Mrs. Michael here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to show you how I created this easel card and the little special touch that I added to it, which is creating this vellum fireplace, and then adding, and it's really hard to do in this kind of direction, I added a little candle behind here. And when it's behind here, the fire actually glows. Can't see it from here, but I will insert some fun pictures that shows you what it looks like. Before I get started with the stamping and assembly, I just wanted to review some of the supplies that I used. These inks, Candy Apple, Honey Butter, Scarlet, Toffee, Mocha, and Pine are all included in the stamping for this card. The main stamp sets that I used for creating this card are the Home for Christmas card making, which has this sweet fireplace with a garland and some great sentiments as well. And then in addition, I accented with a couple of different stamp sets. I used the Joy in this Joy to the World from the Holiday Banner stamp set. And then I used this photo frame. I'm using it as a photo frame or stamp image, as well as the holly and the berries from the Home for Christmas scrapbooking stamp set. Now that you know where these stamped images come from, let's speed up the stamping process and get to the card assembly. When I did stamp the flame, I used a technique to get two colors, stamping partially in Honey Butter and then in Candy Apple. Okay, now I have finished stamping, so let's just do a little review here. This is the inside of the card, and I did the little holly with some berries. This is going to be the inside of our fireplace, and this takes a little while to dry. So make sure that you set it aside and give it some time to dry. I can already see that I've got some little fingerprints on there, but I'm not gonna worry about that. We've got our fireplace. We've got our picture from above our fireplace, and then off camera with my die cutting, I also cut this little piece of garland from the thin cuts in the set in pine glitter paper. So I'm gonna set these aside and let's assemble this card. So I'm gonna review the pieces that I have here and where they come from. This is Scarlet cardstock paper, and it is cut to 4 1/4 by 12, then scored at 4 1/4 and 8 1/2. This paper here is gonna make your easel, and here's what you want to make sure. The front of your card here is gonna be 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, as well as the inside of your card here. And then this piece, which is where the card stands, is 4 1/4 by 3 1/2. I use paper from the September-October mix-in pack. So I've got 3 pieces here. This is gonna be the floor or the base of my easel, and it is 3 1/4 by 4, and that puts a little 1/8 of an inch all the way around. This is my little carpet piece. Let me move these closer so you can see. It is 3/4 by 2 1/2, and I just rounded it out a little bit on the corners, and it will be added with foam tape. This piece here, also from the mix-ins, is 2 1/2 by 4, and then the stripe, which is from the mix-ins, is 1.5 by 4. So let's begin putting this together. I'm going to start here with the base of my easel card, and I'm going to attach this wood grain. I thought it kind of looked like a wood floor. You could also draw some fun lines, like wood lines on there to make it look like a wood floor, or I didn't show you, but the other side of this is a really neat print as well. On the inside here, I've stamped that holly as a little decoration, and you could also choose one of the sentiments from the stamp sets that I showed earlier to create that. And then finally, on this side here is where, which is going to be the front of the card, is where these two papers go. Let's add that. And I'm just leaving 1/8 of an inch around the edges of the card all the way through. Okay, that assembly has begun, and now let's talk about this fireplace. In order to create this hole in the fireplace, what I did was I used a hole punch. The hole punch, I just came to the area where I was going to cut out, and I created a couple of holes in there. And what that allows me to do is to get my micro tip scissors inside here and cut out this firebox area that's right here. So I'm going to trim that out. I'm leaving a little bit of a white edge around it, just then it also matches the white edge around the die cut image. You can choose if that works for you. Okay, there it is. And this just gets discarded. Now, taking my card that I have here, I'm going to place that fireplace where I want it on the card. And using a pencil, a pen, a white gel pen, I'm going to try with this pencil here. I'm going to trace where this firebox area goes. Give it a really good dark trace. I can see it. I'm not sure if you can see it. Then I'm going to take that hole punch again, punch a couple of holes again, and get started. And this time I'm going to cut right on the line as best as I can, because I really don't want any of that black showing. And I'm cutting through 2 thicknesses of paper here. So it's a little bit of heavy, but it works with these micro tip scissors still to cut through with those. Okay, and then that goes along right there. And now I have a hole behind, and I have this hole here, and they should line up. If they don't line up exactly, you could easily just trim that out a little bit more. And then I'm going to take my adhesive, and I'm going to put that all around that fireplace, and then take the fire that I stamped and insert that over top so that I have the fire over top. Now I'm being really careful not to touch that vellum because I don't want to, it's probably not dry yet. You could use your heat tool or, leave it set out for a period of time. And then I'm just going to trim off this edge. I got this a little bit bigger than I needed. Trim that off there and carefully trim this off the bottom. That vellum piece, let me just kind of measure that for you. It's probably about 1.5 by 2 inches. And that's plenty. You just want to make sure that you stamp down in the lower part of it. Okay, there's my fireplace. Now I'm going to add a little bit more adhesive. I'm not going to go over the actual fire part because I don't want my adhesive to show, but I'm going to add that on there,
And can you see how that fire is starting to show through? Such a fun, fun card. And now I'm gonna add the garland. We have a few more little steps to go here. I just think this garland is so much fun. On one of the cards I made, I actually put red and the green garland as well, just to add a little extra Christmas decoration. I'm going to use my 3D foam tape, and I'm going to go ahead and pop up that joy sign that we stamped earlier. That just gives it a little extra dimension and a little lift, and that just sits over the fireplace. I do really feel like I want to put a couple candles on either side of those, but I haven't found any candles to stamp, so we're just gonna leave it at that. And then you can pull out your corner rounder and round these. I just used my micro tip scissors and just did a little bit of a rounding on each edge. Now you could cut your area rug, as I'm referring to this, any shape that you wanted. You could do an oval, but what you want is you want to be able to create a stop for that card so it will stand as an easel, stand up as an easel. Okay, and let's put some foam tape there again, just to lift that and give it a little place for that easel card to stop. And pull that off. And then I did put this right close to the front of the card so that I would have room to put the candle behind. I've got about 1/8 of an inch from my wood paper showing there, and then I just centered it in between there, and then it will stand up like that. And to show you how it looks with the candle, looking from above, let's turn off my big light here. And let's put this candle behind it. And it's a little hard to see still. Again, I have a good still picture of it, but there is what looks like flame behind there, which I think is a really fun addition. Thanks for coming by and sharing this time with me. I hope this video helped you with an idea of how you might create an easel card that has a little special something to it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to message me. Also, if you can subscribe and share this video, that helps me with my video channel growth and to share more cards with you in the future.